This is the plaintiff, Doris Farnoki. She says she put a deposit on a reception hall when her son and the defendant announced their marriage plans. Now she can't believe she's being forced to drag her into court today. The defendant somehow convinced the reception hall to refund the deposit after the wedding was canceled, took it, and will not give it back. The little cute girl thinks she can just bat her eyes and get whatever she wants, but she's here to show her that's not true and is suing for the $2,000 she's due. This is the defendant, Shannon Zupnick. She says the plaintiff gave her and the plaintiff's son the money as a gift and can't get it back now just because they split up. Besides, her son cleaned out their joint bank account when they separated. And if anyone is out money, it's she. She's accused of treating an ex-future mother-in-law very badly.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay. Doris Farnoki?
Yes.
Okay. You are suing Shannon Zupnick for $2,000 that you say you loaned to her on a deposit on a wedding hall, and the wedding didn't take place. Tell me what happened here.
On July 1st of 2007, myself and Shannon and my son, James, and my daughter-in-law, my son, we went and we made final arrangements at the Marina Del Rey for a wedding to be taking place on July 3rd of '09.
Because she was going to marry one of your children?
She was going to marry my son,
okay.
James. So to get
James is not here, right?
No, James is not here. So to get them started, I gave them my charge card, and I said, here, put $2,000 on the deposit to get you started. So, which we did. And everything was okay. And then November of 2008, I noticed a difference in Shannon, and she wasn't coming around as much.
We're talking about a year and a half late. You actually booked the hall 2 years in advance.
They did it 2 years in advance.
Wow. And they have been dating how long?
5 years and engaged for 1 year.
Okay. So they were
so they knew
high
each
school
other.
sweethearts?
They knew each other a long time. So then they broke up.
Why did they break up?
Well, Shannon said it was everything that my son was doing, but I knew there was something else going on. She wasn't coming around the house anymore. She was going out on Saturday nights without him. She was supposedly involved with this wedding, which she was, a bridesmaid of this wedding. But, you know, Saturday night, going out with all the bridesmaids and stuff, I said, you know, to my son, I said, you're engaged. You should be going with her. Oh, she's with all the other people. Then they moved. They were going to take over her brother's apartment. So we did give them an engagement party. We paid for the party. Her parents paid for the DJ at this big party. Cost us a lot of money for that. She got all the engagement gifts. They moved into her brother's apartment.
Well, they got all the engagement. At the time, they're still together, so they get a bunch of gifts.
They got, you know, everything. So then they were going to move into this apartment. I said, fine. I said, but, you know, she's acting a little different. No, Ma, you're just imagining things. No, everything is fine. I said, okay. So he was probably living there for about 3 weeks, and she told him that she wanted him out because she wasn't happy with him and his friends or anything that he did. So he comes back home, and I, you know,
she
what's
keeps
going?
The apartment.
And she kept the apartment. And then he was supposed to go with her to away on a few days vacation because she was away on business. She works for American Express Travel, and she was there on business for a week, and then she was going to stay on a few days. P.S. all of a sudden his passport is missing, so he couldn't go and join her. And she said it was I had it. And I know
what do you think was actually going on?
I think she had the boyfriend there.
You think she had a boyfriend?
Oh, absolutely.
What makes you say that?
I was also paying for her cell phone for about 5 years, and all of a sudden, calls to Italy were there. Just the change in her demeanor, the change, she didn't want to be involved with anybody anymore.
What did you find out on Facebook? Because you make a statement in your complaint.
Well,
you say Facebook is a beautiful thing. Tell me what you found out on Facebook.
I found out that Shannon got married on July 17th. She's now Shannon Zupnick Gandini. And she got married in Italy, in Venice. I also found out through Googling the husband's name that he was the one that she was dating while she was engaged to my son, worked in the marketing department.
All right, now, so obviously the wedding isn't happening. And did anybody go to Marina Del Rey and say, we'd like our money back?
Well, the thing is, I went there the day the wedding was supposed to be to make sure there was a wedding.
Right.
Because,
was there a wedding?
No. And the contract says if there's no booking, you get nothing back.
Right.
So I went there that day to make sure.
Right.
Because I put $2,000 the two of them had put $2,400. So I figured, you know, it's $4,400 that the kids could use, you know, give it back, you know,
Right.
whatever. And there was absolutely no wedding.
Okay.
So I said, okay. I said, so then the guy said, well, maybe in the future, if you want, maybe we could put some of it towards another
Whose name
party.
is on the contract at Marina Del Rey?
Shannon Zupnik and James Farnoki.
Okay.
But I have the, my
Your
master.
credit card swipe from that day. I got it.
I have
So,
them.
all right. So you see that there's no other wedding taking place. So you assume the money's
So I
lost. But
assume
what
the-
is it that you learn later?
I assume the money's gone. The only thing he did say to me, he goes, well, you know, maybe you can work it out that maybe we could put some of the money towards another party.
Right.
So my girlfriend and I went down there on a Tuesday night and talked to, excuse me, this guy, Ralph. And I gave the name, the date, and I said James Farnoki and Shannon Zupnik. And he sat back in his chair, and he goes, she just got that money.
What?
How did she get that money with a signed contract that you wouldn't get it back and with my son's name on it?
How did you get the money? What happened?
I fought for it. I investigated and went to different halls and said that the contract was poorly written.
Because what was wrong with the contract?
Because we canceled the year in advance, and I felt that since we didn't get anything for it, we deserve our money back. So,
Yeah, but that's what non-refundable deposit means. So
Well-
what? So you went when you say fought for, you mean in court?
yeah,
So tell me about that. Did you have an attorney or no?
no, I did
So
it myself.
you went into small claims, and you sued for how much?
The total of $4,400,
And you got the entire $4,400 back.
$3,400.
34.
You got $3,400. So the judge basically, what? Just felt sorry for you, I guess?
No, I mean, when you book something and you give a year in advance, you know, who are they to keep
but
your money?
your contract said, if you book this, I will
He
not
says
give
it
you.
doesn't matter what a contract says. If it's written unfair, it doesn't matter. They can write anything they
Okay.
want. So
Well, and you can sign what you want or what you don't want to sign. But apparently the judge, what do you think happened? What did that fellow you're talking to say?
This fellow, Ralph, said that she started crying and that
cry?
she lost all the
Good one.
money
Did you cry?
well, I get nervous, so.
Okay, so you were crying
and that was all of her money and she has no money left and after all she could never have another party there. And he says the judge didn't even look at my papers and just said and gave it to her, gave her $3,400 back.
based on those big
which-
blue eyes?
Well, that's what he said. He goes, you know, those big blue eyes, the judge fell for.
Well, those
it.
are some very powerful big blue eyes.
Yeah, they are. She does.
They are.
She's a cute girl. Very
She
cute
is.
girl. But, you know,
Ms.
also,
Zupnik, Ms. Farnochi feels that because those $2,000 were to plan a wedding, they weren't a gift for you so you can go out and go shopping or whatever. They were for a specific purpose, and the specific purpose didn't happen. She feels that she's owed back the $2,000. What's your position on this?
I felt that it was a gift, and when you give something, it's a gift. It's either a loan or it's a gift. So I was, you know, technically it is James's half of the money, but since when we broke up, he closed our account and took out $3,300
What
of
happened?
mine.
Why'd you guys break up? You guys have been dating since
He
high school?
never
You've
closed
been-
out
Hold on
the
a second.
account.
Hold on a second. He's not here. If he wants to defend himself, he can be here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We,
By the way, why isn't he here? Just couldn't handle it?
he's working and he just really, I mean,
Yeah,
because when
I
they
wouldn't be here. but
Because
go
when they
ahead.
broke
So
up,
go ahead.
here either.
Go ahead. Huh?
I said I wouldn't be here either.
Okay.
We broke up because he was involved in drugs, and I said to him, it's either the drugs or it's me. So he chose the drugs.
she
And
wouldn't
people-
even-
Hold on. You need
people-
to hold on. I know you're his mother and I know you want to defend him, but you
No, I just want to
first
take
have
the
to
truth.
hear what she's saying before you can respond to it.
Okay, sorry.
All right. I need you to elaborate and explain what you mean. Okay.
He was smoking marijuana, and I found out about it. So I said, you either stop smoking marijuana or you continue our relationship.
Okay.
And
You
he
had known
said-
him for 5 years. Are you telling me that this is the first time this has come up?
No.
Okay.
In the past, he was doing other things
Okay.
than marijuana. He got
Okay.
help for it.
Okay.
Was sober for a few years, and then he got back on marijuana. So I helped him through the process in the past, going through rehab and everything, and then he went back to this. So
Okay.
I can't have that.
All right. Were you cheating on him?
No.
Okay. So as it turns out, you ended up marrying someone who you were working with.
2 years later, yes.
Okay. You married that individual 2 years later. She says there's calls to Italy when the guy was transferred back at the time when all this was going on. True or untrue?
The calls were to Italy to my best friend, who was on her honeymoon at that time in October.
Yeah, right.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So who's right here? Should the plaintiff get her money back?
Absolutely. The gift was for the wedding and not for the bride.
Well, but the thing is, if it was a gift, is it a gift forever?
No, it was just for the wedding, so she should get her money back.
Okay, but would you call it a gift?
I would call it a deposit that was not a gift to the daughter, but a gift for the wedding. And since the wedding never happened, it should go back to the plaintiff.
Pretty compelling. Very good. I'm kind of buying it. Going inside the courtroom.
So now, I take it then the breakup was completely not his desire. Well, I guess you feel he pressed the button because
If he would have stopped the drugs, then
Did he say that he did and you caught him, or
no,
did he say
he said,
no?
I'm not stopping.
It's not a big deal. What did he say? It's not a big deal. You're overreacting.
He said marijuana is nothing. You know, I should be able to smoke it if I want to, and I totally disagree with that. I think marijuana is a drug, and I'm totally against drugs. So.
Were you always that way?
Yeah.
Or you felt that in his case it led to other
Always.
stuff too?
Always
Okay.
against
Now,
drugs.
all right. Now, why does she have to eat the $2,000?
Because it's not her money, it's James's James and ours money. It's
Okay,
not
on
her
that
money.
theory, why do you think it's appropriate not to pay her
Some
James's
back.
half or something? Tell me about that.
Because he withdrew $3,300 of the account, and I have proof of it.
Of a joint account that the two
Yep.
of you had?
Yep.
When? How?
Maybe like a couple days later.
A couple
after
days
he
later,
went,
you
yeah.
say, whoa, we've got this joint account, and how much money was in there?
$3,300.
Okay, and he had gone in and taken the whole thing out already,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't give you any of that money. Okay, folks. Here's the deal. You said something very eloquently, but you're wrong. It's either a gift or it's a loan. In most cases, it's either a gift or it's a loan. And I don't know if you've heard me say that a million times in the last 10 years that I've been here. I say that all the time because people try to make a loan a gift or try to make a gift a loan later when things don't go well. But by both of your testimony, this is an in-between area. Because you both agree on the testimony. There's no dispute on the facts other than like what you were up to or why the breakup happened. There's no dispute on the facts. This was a gift, a conditional gift. It was a gift conditioned on having the reception. That's a gift, but it's what we call in the eyes of the law a conditional gift. Okay? If he wiped out that account, then you got a beef with him. And you can go and you can sue him. But when she gives the two of you a conditional gift, and then the condition doesn't happen, she's entitled to the money back. Now, you may say to me, but Judge, we're both on the contract. Apparently the other judge didn't care and gave you all the money back. Or you may say to me, so Judge, then I'll give her back my half, but she's got to go to her son for the other half. Here's the deal with that. There's a concept in the law called joint and several liability. And what joint and several liability says is that she can go after her son for the whole thing, or she can go after you for the whole thing. She has chosen to go against you because you're the one who broke her son's heart, and she doesn't want to go after her son. And for whatever other reasons, she feels like you came out smelling like a rose in this whole thing, and her son did not. I am going to order the return of the $2,000. I find in favor of the plaintiff in this case, and I wish you all well.
Thank you.
So the judge has ruled for the plaintiff in this case, and so the defendant's right here. What you feeling about the outcome here?
I really have no comment.
One thing is, I'm curious about one thing. Do you miss him?
No comment.
Nothing?
Nope.
All right. So the plaintiff wins this case. She walks out with no comment. Step on up here.
Thank you.
You have any?
Well, you know, she's saying, yeah, she knew he was on drugs. He did go to rehab. He does smoke a joint every now and then. But you know what? She knew this when she accepted the ring, and she knew this for a long time. And it was only when Mr. Gandini came into her life that there was a problem, I feel.
Harvey?
Okay, in legalese, this is called a conditional gift, basically meaning there are strings attached. And the string attached here, obviously, is that they would actually get married, which didn't happen. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.